Oi, fat boy. Why you join basketball club when you wear man?
I'm so fat. Can't do something about it, bro.
You can't even shoot hoops. Bro,
Yeah, you just got in like basketball for lucky, bro.
yeah, you just got it lucky.
So what do you mean, sir?
You're so fat. Look at that. You're so fat. Come on. What did you
Mr. Wong, I need your help. Hey, Mr. Wong, Mr. Wong. Hi, Mr. Wong. Hey, I just want to thank you for training me and make me in muscular shape and giving me basketball skills.
So I can be there to facilitate. Yeah, at the end of the day, it's still about you. But that's how much you want it. Something.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Wong.
Okay, that's good. Thank you so much.
Hi Singy, my dad got me a new iPhone 11.
Oh my gosh, same. What color is yours?
Let's say it at the same time.
3, 2, 1. Rose flow. Oh my gosh.
Oh my god, same.
I think you need us.
Are we? Oh god, we should go.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye.
Hi everyone, welcome to class. Jean and Singy, why you guys late?
Sorry, I don't know how to read a clock.
That's not a valid excuse. Do you guys know where's Rosa?
Probably having internet problems again.
Like all idiots do.
Okay guys, settle down, settle down.
Mr. Chan, I'm here.
Oh, Rosa, why are you late?
I was having some Wi-Fi issues.
Okay, it's fine. As long as you're here, it's fine. Today I'll be teaching you guys about Pythagoras theorem. So I'm gonna be sharing my screen now. Can you guys see my screen?
Mr. Chan.
Rosa, I can't hear you. What? Are you lagging?
Sure.
Rosa? Okay, I'll bring you in the breakout room to try to fix this.
What the joke?
I know, right? What a loser.
Okay guys, sorry we don't have any more time today because I wasted too much time fixing Rosa's Wi-Fi problem. Can you guys please read the notes that I sent you guys through email, and Rosa, please try to fix your internet before next lesson.
Yes, I'm sorry.
Yes! Finally math is over. Thank you, Rosa.
Thanks for wasting our time, Rosa.
Waste time only.
What a joke. Why are you always wasting our time?
I know, right? You might as well not turn up to class.
I bet she can't even hear us.
I know, right? Let's just go.
Bye.
Bye.
No, I hurt you.
Great. Now I'm the loser of my class. Everyone's making fun of me just because my mom cannot afford Wi-Fi. Dad, if you were here, I wouldn't be in this situation. I could have talked to you about this, but you're not here. Hi, are you okay? I thought you crying.
Don't hear me. Don't you know what's wrong?
Hey, don't raise your voice at me.
My friends are making fun of me because you can't afford good Wi-Fi.
If you think that earning money is so easy, why did you earn it yourself?
I bet I can earn more than you.
Okay, you know what? I'm not gonna talk to you right now. You are too angry. I'll talk to you later when your mom comes.
Don't bother. Talk to me when you can afford good Wi-Fi. I wouldn't take this situation there.
All you had to do was just write the report and send me through the bloody email.
No, I'm trying my best to send it right now.
You want us previously, what now happened to you? Everything now is online, you can just like is it?
I'm having Wi-Fi problem now.
Is that my fault? It's your home connection, it's your Wi-Fi connection. You go and fix it yourself. Okay, and stop giving me the same excuses. It's getting unbelievable, you know.
I'm sorry, I'll try to send it as soon as.
Whatever, Miss Tan, okay, whatever. Send me the report by today. Okay, if not, I have to rethink about not firing you. Understand? Bye.
Hi dear, I know that you don't want to talk to me, but can you please listen to me? So, I know that you and your father had a really special connection, and you miss him, and I miss him too a lot. So, I just I think it's time for you to know that what really happened on that day.
Shouldn't have lashed out on you like that.
It's okay, at least you told me your feelings.
I actually heard your conversation with your boss, and you're supposed to send in an email, I guess, by 3 p.m. I don't have any Zoom lessons now, so I can stop using the Wi-Fi, so you can send your email.
I'll try to stop using the Wi-Fi for you to continue to listen. I'm so sorry for just now. I really love you so much, Rosa.
I'm so sorry too, Mom. I love you a lot.
Welcome to Assumption English School, where we learn and grow to become people of character and learning in the service of God and community. Let's take you through our wonderful history. Brother Vincent, a Gabrielite brother, founded our school in 1953 as one of the 3 components of Boys Town. We were then known as Boys Town English School. By 1955, we had classes from primary 1 to secondary 4. In the same year, the school presented its first batch of students for the school certificate examination. In 1973, we merged with CHIJ, Bukit Timah, to become a co-educational Catholic mission school. We then took on the name of Assumption English School in honor of Our Lady, Mother Mary, the patroness of the Montfort Brothers of St. Gabriel. Subsequently, in December 1992, the primary section of the school closed and the students were absorbed by St. Anthony's Primary School. The school went through 2 rounds of upgrading in 1993 and 2013, making improvements to the facilities in order to meet the changing demands of education. And here we are. This is the school we study in today. This is where we will learn together with our friends. This is where we will learn to care for one another. And this is where we will graduate to become men and women of character and learning in the service of God and community.
Hey, hello parents, good morning. Welcome to Assumption English School Virtual Open House. My name is Charlene. Okay, I'm the HOD of Science, Head of Department of Science from Assumption English School. We'll be starting very shortly. So before we begin, this is the schedule for today's session and the Google form for the questions that you have for us. So it's at the top right hand corner, you can actually scan the QR code before we begin. I'm very sure that many of you are very keen to find out a bit more about our school facilities. So coming up next is a video from our student councillors.
Mrs. Atika.
Hi.
Is this your first time in our campus?
Yes, it is. It looks very big.
Come, we'll show you around. But before that, please take your temperature and do the safe scan. Welcome to our school library. Please write your name down and sanitize your hands.
Don't worry, I have you to write your name.
What we really love about our school library is the space. The tables, chairs, and air conditioning create the perfect environment for many of us to study in after school.
Totally. Sometimes we even have lessons and consultation with teachers here. Wow, that's nice. It's so spacious. There are even couches here. I look forward to studying here with my friends after school.
Yup, there's a wide range of different genres in this library. Inside, we have newspaper and magazines. Welcome to the A cabin. ASE stands for After School Engagement. Here, students can come and take a break from studying, play games, and bond with each other. There are workshops conducted here from 10 to 5 for the students with their new skills. Hey, there's Jason. Chino's girl. Let's go see her.
Welcome to our AES soccer field. Do you know the under-15 national football team actually trains on this very field each week?
Yes, because of our field, we have enjoyed many activities here as a school.
Do you remember last year? We had water soccer and the Assumptionites challenge that ended off with the slide down the inflatable castle.
Yeah, I had so much fun with my classmates splashing around. Remember when our teacher joined us in the Assumptionite challenge as well? Great bonding time with them too.
And of course, besides the school activities, our soccer and softball CCA sessions are also conducted here.
Also offers judo as a CCA. And we even have a special room called the dojo for the judokas to train in.
A very warm welcome to our dojo.
Our training may be tough, but that's what makes us judokas all the more stronger. I appreciate how we would cheer one another up when some parts of the training seem difficult. That often gives me the motivation to continue pushing on. So let's take a look at how we train.
Let's go, Chelsea!
Let me show you another relaxing spot around school. These are the counseling rooms. Hi, Mr. Chan.
Oh, hello there. Where are you up to?
We're currently bringing our new friend around school.
Oh, hi. If you know someone who is going through a rough patch and need a listening ear, please do drop by my office.
Mr. Chen is our school counselor. In AES, we have 2 school counselors, an allied educator for learning and behavioral support, and a student welfare officer. All of them are very approachable. We are really fortunate to have Mr. Chen in our school.
Oh, you're welcome. And feel free to drop by if you want to.
Sure, we will. We'll catch up with you later.
Sure.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, good morning parents. Okay, this is Charlene, the head of Department of Science from Assumption Middle School. So you have just watched a video about our school facilities. Okay, so there will be 3 main parts of today's segment. The first part will be a principal's presentation, our principal, Mr. Benjamin Kwok, followed by the alumni and parents sharing, and we will end off with a school personnel FAQ. So yes, you can see Mr. Kwok on the screen. Okay, so the very first part, I will pass the time to Mr. Kwok to share more about the school. Mr. Kwok, please.
Hi, good morning, everyone, especially to the parents as well as the P6 students. Firstly, I would like to congratulate the students for completing 6 years of primary school education. Well done to everyone. All right, and of course to the parents as well for supporting your child. And then right now, with the secondary school, it's going to be for all of you next year. Can look forward. All right, you can look forward to secondary school education where you learn to be more independent. All right, students learn to be more independent, to be more self-directed, and especially to discover your interests as well as your passion. So that's something to look forward to. So this slide, as you can see, is basically our school, a very beautiful school. All right, let me just pop over and maybe just introduce to you my VP for her to say hello. All right. So this is my VP.
Hi, good morning, parents and students. Thank you for joining us this morning.
All right, her name is Miss Wong. All right, so she assists me. There's actually another vice principal, but he's not here this morning. So as you can see, we are doing it live right now. It's not a pre-recorded recording, but it's live. Because we want to really make it very personal, all right, in terms of our engagement with parents. So next slide. So first, this slide, we're talking about our identity, all right, because many a times people are a bit confused by the identity of Assumption English School. Partly also because of our history and heritage, and also maybe because of our location as well. All right, we are located at this Upper Bukit Timah, all right, but it is a huge compound. It is a huge compound, and within this huge compound, there are actually 3 institutions. All right, Assumption English School, Assumption Pathway, as well as Boys Town Boarding Home. So let me just give a brief explanation for each. So for us, we were formed in 1953. All right, in 1953, and we function as a typical secondary school where we offer O-levels as well as the N-levels curriculum. So that's Assumption English School. And really, in terms of our history and heritage, we were formed in a sense to engage during those days, during the 1950s, kids who were disadvantaged were living around the area because it was really post-war period. All right, I mean, Singapore was trying to recover. All right, and really for us, we were there to meet the needs of the community. So that's us, Assumption English School. And then we have Assumption Pathway. Assumption Pathway is a specialized independent school where the curriculum is vocational in nature. Vocational in the sense that it is very hands-on. All right, so the students over there, they learn about baking, they learn about culinary skills, they learn about hospitality, they learn about hairdressing as well. So basically, students, after they complete their PSLE, all right, if they are found to be more suited to a vocational or more hands-on curriculum, all right, they'll move to Assumption Pathway. That's one of the schools, all right. And then the other institution is Boys Town Boarding Home. All right, it is a residential home for boys who come from disadvantaged families. All right, come from disadvantaged families. Now, many times people get confused as well between Boys Town and Boys Home. All right, Boys Town, of course, is in this particular area. All right, Upper Bukit Timah. All right, but Boys Home is actually in Jurong West. And Boys Home basically functions as a place of detention, all right, as well as rehabilitation for boys who have maybe committed offenses or broken the law. All right, so people get a bit confused between Boys Town and Boys Home. So it is really 2 different institutions. All right, so hopefully everyone will get a better sense. Now, between the Assumption English School and Assumption Pathway, although we are in the same compound, our school entrance is different. For Assumption English, we are along Upper Bukit Timah Road. For Assumption Pathway, they are along Cashew Road. All right, so we are 2 different buildings, 2 different set of staff, 2 school leaders as well, myself as well as another principal for Assumption Pathway. Dismissal time is also a bit different. All right, school uniform, although very similar, but different in the sense that our school uniform is tucked in, their uniforms are tucked out, but we do share the same school crest because we all belong to the same family under the Montfort Brothers of St. Gabriel's, which the Montfort schools as well as the St. Gabriel schools also share the same crest as well. All right, next. Next slide, yeah. Now, people also always ask, why is our school named Assumption? What's the meaning of Assumption? Now, as I mentioned earlier on, previously the name of the school was Boys Town English School. But 1973, we merged and became co-ed. And therefore, there was a change of name to Assumption English School. So what's the meaning of Assumption? The word Assumption is because of Mother Mary, the mother of Jesus. All right. And we believe that Mother Mary was assumed body and soul up into heaven. All right. And to celebrate this event, all right, we call it the Assumption of Mary. And this is celebrated every 15th of August. Now, why this devotion to Mother Mary? It's because of the brothers, the Montfort Brothers of St. Gabriel's. They have this special devotion to Mother Mary, and it's also because of the founding saint as well, Saint Louis Marie de Montfort. And therefore, when we adopted the name Assumption, it is because in honor of Mother Mary. So that's the reason behind it, all right, and the meaning behind the word Assumption as well. Next slide. So in terms of our school affiliation, I mentioned earlier on about, the schools under the Montfort Brothers of St. Gabriel. So we have the Montfort family, and then we have the St. Gabriel's family, and of course, Assumption Pathway. But we all function separately. We all have our own school leaders, own staff, own school building, and so forth. For those who are interested, to what happens after you leave Assumption English. If let's say going to the junior college, doing the A-levels pathway, you're interested in that, do note that Catholic Junior College, CJC, all right, is affiliated to us. All right, so if you are to join CJC, you will enjoy, all right, bonus points. So that's a big advantage for parents. So do take note. Next slide. So our school vision, mission, and school values. All right. For vision, we want to produce, all right, men and women of character and learning in the service of God and the community. So it's always about serving others. All right. We do not want to produce students who are just thinking about themselves only. And how do we do this? All right. The Montfortian ethos, the Montfortian spirit of learning, charity, and love is very important to us. So the stories of Montfort, all right, they are universal in terms of the values. All right, it's important very important to us, and we always explain to our students, tell them these stories, and later on I will describe a story as well to let the parents and students know about some of our Montfortian ethos that we always ingrain in our students. And then, of course, our Christ values, we call it the compassion, humility, respect, integrity, sense of responsibility, as well as trust. All right, these are very important to us as well, and that's something we try to inculcate in all our students. So basically, education is very important. The academic part of education is very important. The character, the values part of it is also very important to us. And it comes very naturally to us because we have a mission school. All right. And part of our school routine, of course, we have our Catholic activities as well. So every day we'll start with a morning prayer and reflections. So we'll all say prayer and then we will reflect as well. So for students who are non-Catholics, what do? We always advise our students who are non-Catholics, all right, to maybe have that quiet moment, to think about your own faith, to reflect about your own faith, your own God, and to show honor and gratitude as well to your own faith as well as to your own God. All right, I think that is so important to have that grounding, all right, in your own faith. And then we also have 3 masses for the year. One to start off the year, one is during our Founders Day in April, and one to end off the year. And then for Catholic students, we have their faith formation, where they have their Faith Alive sessions, where they learn more about the Catholic faith. This is only for Catholic students on Fridays. And then they have the Young Montfort Associates, a second CCA for Catholic students. All right, and then we have the overseas trips retreat for the Catholic students. But at the same time, we have cohort trip for all students. For all students at Sec 2, previously we have gone to Vietnam, Thailand, Cambodia. But looking ahead with the COVID virus situation, we're not too sure when we can travel. But indeed, if we can travel, the whole of Sec 2 cohort we will travel to places which is nearer, easier to control the risk level. Likely it will be somewhere closer to home in Malaysia. All right. So just to let parents know as well, we are a very inclusive school. So although it's a Catholic school, but we are very inclusive. Just to let everyone know, in terms of the student population who belongs to other faith. So we have actually 21% of students who are Buddhists, 18% of students who are Muslims, and 6% of students who are Hindus. All right, so we embrace all faith, we respect all faith, and the diversity is something that makes the school richer and very meaningful for all of us to really appreciate and honor, all right, all faith, all religions, and all cultures as well. Next slide. So a very unique program for our school, we call it the ALP, we call it the SPEAK program, Speak English with Grace and Knowledge. Basically, it's about communication skills using English, and it is so important because English language really, the ability to communicate in a convincing manner, in a confident manner, is so important. You can have the best brains in the world, but if you are not able to socialize, unable to communicate effectively, all right, it's going to be a huge disadvantage. So a very important program for us is this SPEAK program. So what do? Sec 1, they will produce book trailers, all right, short little videos about books that they have read, all right, and that's what they will do, produce short trailers using the language, all right. And for Sec 2s, wow, even more exciting, all right, all Sec 2 students will get a chance to read the news, all right, to the whole school. So they'll pick the news from the newspaper or from the media, all right, and then they will read the news to the whole school. It's not easy, I must admit, it is not easy. It can be very scary and nervous for the students, but this is the kind of platform, all right, the kind of opportunity that we provide for our students. And then for the Sec 3 students, they will stand before their fellow friends and peers, right, during recess to champion, all right, for their things that they believe in, social causes. It could be the environment, it could be animals, bullying, and so forth, all right. So that is at Sec 3, and they will go through some debating program as well. So a very exciting program, a very well-established program. And next slide. And this year, as an added extension to the SPEAK program, our Sec 2 students, selected students, all right, they were trained in filmmaking. We call it the Emmanuel Lemire Film Festival. So they will showcase their film, all right, during this festival itself. It was held on the 20th of November, only just recently. So they produce films only using their handphone. Can you imagine using their handphone to produce short films? So this is what we have done, all right? And hopefully with the easing of the safety measures, we can involve more Sec 2 students. So it's a very exciting program. Next, how about teaching and learning? All right, we try to create authentic environment for learning. So at Sec 1, for mathematics and sciences especially, they actually go out of the classroom, all right, to build their own kites and fly their kites, all right, or make even aerodynamic paper planes as well, to learn about mathematics and science concepts. So very exciting. So another new thing which will happen for us next year, which will involve other schools in Singapore also, is called the Personalized Digital Learning Program, for short PDLP. All All right, so students will get a chance, all right, to learn, all right, online through the computer device. So this will happen next year, March. All right, and of course, blended learning. All right, we will allocate time, all right, for students to learn using their devices from home and so forth. So this will be made known with more details next year. And of course, we are also a pilot school for full subject-based banding, all right, where students will be grouped into classes where they come from different streams. All right, the purpose of all this is to be more inclusive, all right, and this will be rolled out to all schools in Singapore in 2024. All right, so that's something to look forward to. Next. So the next program that I'm going to talk about is our LLP program. It's a leadership program which we have called it Dinun. Why Dinun? There's a story behind it. Let me just briefly describe this story. It's about Montfort in this place in France called Dinun. So he was walking back after a long, hard day, late at night, and he came across a sick person, all right, a destitute lying by the side of the road. So for Montfort, he carried this sick person back to the priest's house, So it was late at night and he was knocking on the door, all right. But there was no response. The housekeeper was very slow in responding. So what Montfort did was he shouted, "Open the door to God." He shouted again, "Open the door to God." So the housekeeper panicked. He was traumatized. What? Open the door to God, you know. So we may be wondering, why did Montfort say, "Open the door to God"? The reason why he said that is not because he felt that he was God. The reason he said that was because of the sick person that he was carrying on his back. For Montfort, when he sees the face of the sick, the destitute, the marginalized, the last, the lost, and the least, he sees the face of God in them. And therefore, he believes that we have to honor, all right, everyone, especially those who are marginalized, those who are disadvantaged, all right, those who are sick, who are lonely. So this is something that I always remind my teachers, right, to be inclusive, and remind my students as well, right, to honor everyone. So therefore, our leadership program is named after, all right, this story. All right, we call it the Dinun Leadership Program. And definitely our students get the chance to serve and lead and help others, right, through the platform, through the context of science, through the context of learning about saving the environment as well. And one very important program, leadership program, which our students go through, next slide, please, is to learn about resilience, especially through Flag Days, the Boys Town Flag Day as well as the St. Gabriel's Foundation Flag Day. Now, some of us may be wondering, what's the big deal about Flag Day? But I want to assure parents, it is not so simple. It is not so simple. When I joined the school in 2018, when I saw how my students and my teachers go through this Flag Day, we all do it. I was traumatized. I was so afraid to approach strangers, you know, to ask them to donate money, you know, for Flag Day, because it is not simple. Because many a times we get rejected. So what do we do when we get rejected? Actually, we feel very down, you know. We feel very shy as well. But because of this, we have to try and pick ourselves up, all right, to raise funds again, to ask for donation again, all right, because it is for good cause, all right. And through this whole process, we all learn to be resilient, all right, to be courageous as well. So this is part of our leadership program, all right, and I feel it is a very important program for us where we all learn to be resilient. And I'm very confident to say that our students are very good at this. They become actually a bit thick-skinned. Rejected also, never mind. They will go on and on again. Next. So the next part, we're going to talk about our CCA. So the first part of our CCA, we're going to talk about sports and games. So we have our basketball, all right, our floorball, football, judo, as well as softball. Although it is indicated as DSA for basketball, football, as well as judo, when our new cohort of Sec 1 students join us, those who are not under DSA, they will get a chance to join these sports as well. There's a selection platform where we will see, the students' interests as well as whether they have the natural ability for this sport, and then we will try to develop them. In fact, for basketball, I'm so happy to say this. In 2018 and 2019, we were able to develop two students, one in 2018 and one in 2019, to represent Singapore, all right, at the youth level. For football, our coach is a very reputable coach. All right. Besides being our school coach, he's also the national team under 15 coach as well. All right. So can you imagine the coach that trains the national team also coaches our own students? And because of this, also the national squad, the national under 15 team actually train in our school. So the ecosystem for football is very strong. Our students get a chance to see the national team training and they get inspired by it as well. All right. And then for judo, the current national team, a few of the judokas, they were former students of Assumption English School as well. All right. Just some info for parents and students. Next slide is about UG, uniform groups. So we have the NCC C. It's not the NCC land, it is C. So you get a chance to experience water activities, kayaking, sailing, very exciting. And then we have NPCC, we have the Girl Guides, and we have the Red Cross Youth as well. These are high performing UGs. They are basically distinction and goal units. And next, we have the performing arts. We have the choir, the concert band, the dance ensemble, and they do very well, all right, during the SYM. All right, they got certificate of accomplishment as well as commendation. All right, so very exciting performance they put up. And then we have two club and societies. ELDDS, English Language Drama and Debate, as well as the Green Club. Next slide. Yes. Okay, so for English language drama and debate, of course, drama and debate is very important to us. And we will compete and we will participate in many of these activities on drama as well as for debate. And then to be environmentally friendly, the Green Club will champion for it in school. Next slide. So how well? So many of you parents and students will be thinking, how well will our students do, at the national exam? So this particular slide will explain everything for us. So I will just pause here for a while. So for the O-levels, our 4 express students eligibility for JC is actually 45%, quite high. And for Polytechnic is about 87.9%. For our 5N students who come back to join us for the O-levels, in terms of eligibility for Polytechnic is a high of 71.4%. 71.4%. At the national level is bordering about 50%. For the N levels, 4NA students qualify to come back for 5N is 76.6%. For the 4 normal technical students, 100% of them proceed to ITE. So it's a good set of results, all right? And really for student outcomes, it's beyond results. So what do we want to see in our students? Next slide. We want our students to show a sense of mastery, in fortitude, mastery, and charity. Why fortitude first? Very important. We want our students to show determination and courage, even during a climate of great challenge, all right, great challenge and difficulties. So that's what we want to see in our students, a sense of fortitude, mastery, to always want to improve themselves, to be the best that they can be in terms of their skills, their knowledge. All right, very important. Always want to be humble enough to know that there's always something that need to learn to improve. And of course, charity. All right, this is the foundation of what we are, especially in Assumption English School. All right, the heart to want to serve others. All right, it's not just to lead, but also to serve others, to help others as well. All right, so this is so important to us. So who are our alumni? You may be wondering, for Assumption English School, when they leave us, who are they? So there are 3 personalities here. All right, you see one of them, a sportsman in the middle. All right, his name is Lee Wang Yu. For those of you who are quite familiar with the sports scene in Singapore, he's a very famous shooter, although he has retired. He's an Olympian and multiple gold medalist. And then you see a lady here. All right, I'm not sure whether you recognize her. Her name is Vanetta Lopez, a very famous TV and radio personality. So in fact, for her, last year she came back to school to conduct an emceeing course for our students. And how about the young chap wearing that red T-shirt? You may not recognize him, but his company is so famous right now. All right, he's the co-founder of the Carousel app. I'm sure many parents and you would have this app. I think P6 students, I don't think so. But for parents, you will know. All right, this Carousel app. So it is a very important company, very, in terms of the valuation of the company, is very high now. I think maybe close to $1 billion right now. So he's a co-founder of this company. His name is Marcus Tan. So actually last year, he came back to school to give a talk to our students to inspire all of us. All right, if you are determined enough, you can make a success of yourself. All right. So the next slide is really about our virtual open house. We are doing it live today at 11 o'clock and one more session at 3 o'clock, all right, from school itself. So we are actually open in school today. I'm going to just move over to let everyone have a look at what goes behind the scene in order to have this take place, this virtual open house. Okay, just to let everyone have a look. These are the people that helps to make this open house happen. Can you say hi, everyone? And then you can see over here, all right, we have the MC and one of my key personnel as well. So with this, okay, next slide. Next slide. I just want to thank everyone, parents and students, for joining us this morning for this segment of the virtual open house. All right, thank you.
Okay, hello. Thank you, Mr. Kwok. Okay, so by what Mr. Kwok has mentioned, I'm the MC for the next two sections, which are actually the Q&A. Okay, so with me today, I have a parent, Miss Jane. Okay, Miss Jane is coming up live. Give her a while, probably some technical issue. Then I also have two alumni with me, Miss Pauline, who is at the bottom right. Yes, say hi. And Darius, can you say hi?
Hello.
Hello. Yes, Miss Jane. Yes. Okay. So Miss Jane has a child in this year secondary 1 level, and for Pauline and Pauline graduated in 2016. Darius just graduated in 2019. Okay. So Pauline graduated from AES and moved on to Ngee Ann Poly. Okay. Also graduated from Ngee Ann Poly recently with a diploma in mass communication. Okay, she was also our club president for ELDBS. So later we can hear a bit more about her experiences. And for Darius, okay, he was very, very active in NCCC, okay, unit in AES. Okay, at the point of time I was still an NCC teacher actually. Yeah. So now actually he continued his passion. He moved on to Ngee Ann Poly. After that, he is still serving in NCC HQ. Okay, so just a bit of background about them. Thank you for joining us this morning. Yep. So okay, I would like to start off the FAQ by asking Ms. Jane one question, probably. Then we see whether there are more questions coming from the ground. For parents who just joined us, if you do have any questions, you can actually access the link from the YouTube description. Okay, so in the YouTube description, you should be able to see the link, okay, to ask any questions that you have for our school personnel or even our parents or alumni. Okay, so maybe Ms. Jane first. Maybe you can share, was AES your first choice for your child and yourself after PSLE?
Actually, it was a family third choice, but it is our son final choice. So we arrived in the decision that since this is my son first choice, we parents support him. Secondly, our son got a strong feeling to choose that the school is a best school for him, a good school. So as a parents, we we heard that the teacher is caring, and then it's also the Catholic school, so we consider it as our first choice.
I see, I see. Oh, okay. So to arrive at this decision, it was mainly, do you actually visited our open house then?
Actually, we visited the open house, but we came a bit late already around because the open house last year November until I think until 3 o'clock. We came already very late, 4 p.m. But we are very glad that the teacher and one student, I think we are the last two person visited the school, but they are actually embrace us to introduce. And then my son, that's why my son liked the school because you see the facilities. Then he telling us it's a huge the was that the library, and then he liked the laboratory because even we're late, there show us the was that all the laboratories. And then the teacher, one teacher, or I think the head of English teacher, very approachable.
Okay, so you had a good experience at the open house. Okay. Maybe my
Yes,
next
during the
question will
open
be to
house.
Pauline. Yeah, okay. Pauline, what about you? Was AES your first choice? Why
AS
or why not?
was my first choice. Yes, because okay, because my family is firstly we're Catholic, so my parents were very insistent on like, okay, maybe you want to go to like a Catholic secondary school for a change. And secondly is because actually I knew someone in the school already. She ended up like being my senior. And yeah, she only had like good experiences to share about the school. So it felt easier to also integrate, I guess, knowing someone there already and my parents' approval of going to a Catholic school. Yeah.
I see. Okay, that's nice to know. Okay, so okay, maybe you can share one memorable experience you have in AES in your 4 years here. Whether is it as a cadet, as a student?
I think a memorable experience would most probably be my time in NCC, because I feel that during that time when I was with NCC, it actually helped me develop a lot as a person and as a leader. Mainly because I got to hold many leadership appointments within the CCA, such as assistant sergeant major, and then after that the unit sergeant major. So teachers that know me since like once, they'll know me as someone who is rather shy and quiet when I was Sec 1. But over the years, I believe that they got to see me open up more and getting to lead the other cadets under my charge. And then until now, I'm still with NCC as a cadet officer, and I get to lead and make a difference to more people. Yeah.
Yeah, what is worth mentioning is actually Darius is actually still serving NCC HQ very actively. Okay, so he's the second IC sitting the NCC Exco. So actually that was really quite remarkable. Okay, back to you, Miss Jane. How do you feel about Assumption English School right now? After 1 year, after your child shared a lot of stories with you in school and so on. So maybe is there anything you can share with the parents?
Actually, the perception changed when I saw, and then my son easily coping, adjusting in the new ambience in the school. Then meeting new friends, he said the school is a happy school. He always loved to go to school, excited every day because the teachers are very approachable. That's what he really liked
Okay.
about the school. Then they have a positive learning environment inside the classroom, making the study more fun for them.
Okay, well, that's nice to know. Okay, Pauline, you are actually our very first batch of SBB students. Okay, because you actually took an out of stream subject for English language. At that point of time when you first when you were in secondary 4, I think subject based bending was not a very common term, so a lot of people didn't know about it. So at that point of time you were being approached and you really take up a challenge. So maybe you can share a bit about your experience of taking up a higher level subject because you were in the normal academic stream but took out Express English. Yeah. So how was the whole
Yes. Okay.
experience, and how have it helped you?
Okay, so yeah, like what Miss Chai just mentioned, I was just prepared to actually take my N-level examinations, but somewhere along, I guess the first term, my English teacher approached me asking if I was interested in doing O-level English during my N-level year, which was something that I actually didn't even think about. And I didn't even think that it was possible, but because I guess, and it's something that I really appreciate with the teachers in AES, is the fact that they can really recognize a student's potential, and they really try their best to tap on that potential and help it to blossom and grow. So that happened for me. I would say it was quite an interesting experience because I was given a lot of options on how I wanted to do it. So okay, for example, my English teacher would ask me like, okay, so in this case, would you want to join the express class for your English lessons, or would you rather do it with your own N-level class? But at that point of time, I was a bit timid still to just end up going to the express class and do my lessons there. So I settled with my own what I was comfortable with, and it was totally okay with them, and I still got the support from them by like them giving me extra papers, staying back with me after school to answer all my queries and stuff like that. And I ended up getting a pretty good result, and I was really happy with that actually, and I really thank like my teacher so much for pushing me.
Yeah. It was a really good experience, and I really see how you blossom over the 4 years and eventually graduating. Okay, there is one last question for you probably. Can you share what you love about AES after this 4 years of education here?
I think what I like in particular about AES would most probably be the school culture. I believe that most all of the students will agree that AES definitely has a different school culture as compared to the other schools. Firstly, being that the teachers are a lot kinder, in the sense that they are very caring, and they become more like your friends than a teacher. For example, I'm actually very close with this teacher who was formerly my chemistry teacher and the teacher in charge of NCC. And until today, I still go on occasional runs, and we still catch up with him very often. And also another thing would be the friends. The friends you make in secondary school are like, people say that they'll be there with you for life, and I think that is very true to a very large extent. Yeah.
Okay, that's good. You're talking about Mr. Ng, right? He's sitting next to me. Later
Yeah.
I will ask him to. Okay, Miss Jane, one last question probably before we end this segment. Will there be anything that you want to share with the parents who are contemplating to send their child to AES now?
Yeah,
What will you tell
actually,
parents who are
for me,
choosing schools now actually?
sorry, as a parent, we want is the best for our child, but I would like to share with you, AES have a nice culture, school atmosphere, and the positive learning environment. They're creating this for the students. That's why my son really loved the school. I advise you not to second thought, because the teacher, the principal, they are very hands-on, very approachable and friendly. That's why they create a very nice environment, a happy school, and they build and create the school for the benefit of all the students.
Thank you so much. Okay, we will end this segment. Anything else to share, Pauline, probably?
I guess as a wrap up of my whole entire 5 years journey, because I came back for O levels after my N levels, I guess it's just ultimately like what all of them have actually mentioned, is the culture of the school that is so unforgettable, and keeps me coming back to give back because of how much that the school has actually given to me. So this is a whole new experience that you will get. And for me, I really appreciated my time in Assumption. So to those that are watching, especially to the P6 kids who just got their results, make an informed decision, think about what you want to get out of your 4 or 5 years in secondary school, and all the best.
Thank you so much. Thank you for joining us this morning. Thank you, Miss Jane. Thank you, Pauline. Thank you, Darius. we'll see you very soon. Okay, for the alumni, I hope you can come back to visit your teachers. For Miss Jane, we'll see you in the upcoming events. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Thank you. Okay, so we will end out the first segment of bye-bye. Bye. See
Bye-bye.
you. Bye-bye. Okay, so we end off with the very first segment with our parents and our alumni. So the second segment, you will see some school personnel coming on board to answer some of the questions that you may have. Okay, so we will be waiting for our school leaders to join us, and together you can actually see who is the screen next to me. Okay, it's actually our HOD for Character and Citizenship Education, Mr. Ng Shi Han. Mr. Ng, say hi. Yeah, he was actually the teacher that Aries was talking about. Yeah.
Hi, good
Okay.
morning, everyone. Thank you for taking your precious time to join us today.
Okay, so together with us, we also have our principal, Mr. Kwok, okay, and also Ms. Wong, our vice principal. So we have some questions from the ground. Yep. Hi. Yep. Okay, so we have some questions from the ground that we will try to address first. Meanwhile, for parents, if you do have any more questions, okay, if you do have any more questions, please use the link in the YouTube description so we can actually address some of your questions. All right. So probably I will direct the first question to Mr. Kwok. So there was this question about faith formation and integration of students from different faith in the Catholic school. So I believe Mr. Kwok did address a bit in his presentation just now. So since there was this question, maybe Mr. Kwok can take this question. What about the faith formation and how do we integrate students from other faiths in the Catholic school in AES?
So for very quickly, because we presented this part of it, for faith formation for Catholic students, Friday is a very important day where they have the Faith Alive sessions after school. It happens after school, and they'll learn more about the Catholic faith and so forth. All right, that's for about an hour, and thereafter they will continue with the Young Morphosian Associates. This is the second CCA for Sec 1 students, so it's compulsory for Sec 1. Beyond that, they leave it by choice. By choice whether they want to continue or not. So basically, Friday is a day where they spend slightly a bit more time to understand about the faith, understand a little bit more about Saint Louis Marie de Montfort, his beliefs and his ethics and his values. All right. So, and besides this, of course, we have our daily morning prayer, and then we have some of the combined activities with the Gilbertite schools. All right. There's a combined mass as well. All right, so these are things that we do for the faith formation. Now, how about students from other faith? All right, I think how do we integrate? Like what I mentioned earlier on, as part of the school routine, we will say the morning prayer, but for the non-Catholics, it is really a chance to really reflect and really show gratitude to your own beliefs, your own faith as well. So there's no compulsion for you to say the Catholic prayer, that kind of thing. There is no such thing. There's no evangelizing, oh, you must do conversion, that kind of thing. There isn't. All right. We function in a way, in a very secular manner as well. All right. So we respect all faith, all religions. So there is no such thing as we force students to join any of the activity. However, let's say, for example, where we have 3 masses, all right, in a year, what will happen is during the mass, all right, everybody will be in the hall. All right, the Catholic students and staff will be at the front part of the hall. The non-Catholics will be after that, the second part of the hall. And what they do is that they will just in a respectful manner, just see the proceeding, observe the proceedings of what happens during a mass itself. So that is something that we do, but there is no compulsion to join any of the prayer or activities. We do not do that. And I've mentioned earlier on as well, in terms of the percentage of students belonging to other faith, we have 20% Buddhists, 18% Muslim, all right, and Hindus are 6%. All right, so really, it's a representation of society, all right, where we have this respect and honor for others. All right, yeah.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Kwok. Okay, so we have also one more question about government aided school. Okay, so like what is the government aided school? Why is AES so unique as a government aided school? And also how is our school culture like? Maybe I can direct the question to my vice principal, Ms. Wong. Ms. Wong, can you share a bit more about the government aided school and also our school culture? Ms. Wong. Sorry, Ms. Wong, I think you need to unmute yourself because we couldn't hear you.
Okay. Can you hear me now? Testing. Can you hear me?
Yes, it's very clear now.
Yes. Okay. Right. Parents, for your info, government aided schools are set by various community organizations. So for Assumption English, it was set up in 1953 by the Montfort Brothers of St. Gabriel's to cater to the educational needs for the Catholic communities in this area. So in general, we actually provide the same education that is offered in government schools. And in terms of school fees charges are also the standardized fee. All right, if that's something that you are interested in knowing. Then as for the culture in AES, I would say is the learning culture that we emphasize a lot. We will begin with personal mastery, where we actually focus a lot in student centricity. The process that we involve them will be through independent as well as team learning. So how is this being done? So a lot of performance tasks will also be given at individual level as well as at group levels. And in terms of skills, we will provide this opportunity for the students to demonstrate problem solving, communication skills in terms of oracy as well as written. And lastly, not to forget the social and collaborative skills that is important in our future world. Then as what our motto emphasize, Labor Omnia Vinci is to emphasize a lot on hard work. Through hard work, perseverance, then our children will achieve success. And lastly, like what Mr. Kwok has always said, in our school being a mission school, we are always mindful of the disadvantaged students as well as the community. So we always have this quote from our founder, all right, to those whom the world rejects must always move us the most. So this is what we emphasize a lot. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Wong. Ms. Wong, there's a question about higher mother tongue, so I'll probably ask you first. So there's a question from a parent saying that, will there be any higher Chinese class in 2021? And if yes, how many students, how many classes are we looking at? So can we address this query about the higher mother tongue?
Well, okay. In AES, we do offer higher mother tongue. For the P6 coming in as Sec 1 next year, the eligibility will be subject to their PSLE performance. So for parents, the information can be found in the Sec 1 posting booklet. So for all to know, or just a gentle reminder, is the students need to be in the top 10% of the PSLE cohort. All right. If not, they must be within the top 30%, and these students must score A star in their mother tongue language. If not, if in their primary school they are currently taking higher mother tongue, then they must attain at least a merit to be eligible. So when it comes to your posting outcomes, your child will be given the offered letter if they are eligible for Sec 1. Then in this case, when they are posted to AES, all right, we will, of course, offer the course to the child. And as for you mentioning, like how big will the higher Chinese cohort, in general, starting from Sec 2, second semester, we will probably have close to 15 to 20 students taking higher Chinese. And what about those students in Sec 1, they are not being offered? What will happen? Throughout the Sec 1, the teachers taking them for mother tongue, all right, they will probably identify the potential. And then if we find them eligible and demonstrating the ability to do so, the school will offer them in Sec 2. All right, so it's really student-centric that comes first when the child is showing potential and ability. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Wong. Okay, so there's a question about the passing rate for O levels in AES. So I'll probably take that question. So it was actually presented by Mr. Kwok earlier on, but probably I will just re-emphasize some of the data. Okay, so actually we have about 45% of our students going eligible for junior colleges. And this 45% comes from 3 classes, because we have 3 secondary 4 and 5 classes. So that's about 110 students. And out of this 3 classes, we also have about 90% of students qualifying for polytechnic. So it's actually a very good set of results that we are actually working towards. Okay, so there is a next question that I will direct to Shi Han, okay, Mr. Ng, our HOD of CCE. So in a class, would there be a mixture of express and NA classes? And how many NA classes will there be in 2021? Mr. Ng?
Oh, hello. Right. So interestingly, for 2021, we have 2 new MOE initiatives that we're embarking on. One is PDLP. Right. Maybe I'll just share that everyone, all the students will actually receive a personal electronic device that we'll use for learning. Now, at the same time, we are also embarking on full SBB, full subject-based spending. So we are expecting 7 classes. That means 4 express, 2 NA, and 1 NT. At the same time, with full SBB, there will be a mixture of students for various streams in the same class.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Ng. Okay, so sorry. Okay, thank you, Ms. Wong. I will be actually changing one of the panelists to our HODP CCA, Mr. Gary Ong, because there were some questions for CCA. So I thought it would be good if Mr. Ong can actually answer some of the questions. Hi, Mr. Ong, can you say hi?
Hello, hi everyone.
And Mr. Ong needs to unmute his mic. If not, you cannot hear him.
Hi everyone. Good afternoon to everyone, to all parents, students. There's a question here. Can I answer the question?
Okay, Mr. Ong, give us a while because we cannot really hear you clearly. So probably let Mr. Yazir set up your IT side first, or we can answer one of the questions first. Okay, so there are a few questions on CCA, so I'll probably read through the question first and Mr. Ong can actually address them. So one of the question is, if there's a CCA that is not offered in AES, how can my child take part? And then there's also another question about audition. Is it necessary to go through audition for some CCAs? So Mr. Ong, once you're ready, you can address these 2 questions.
All right, yes, I'll take that question. Good afternoon. Very good afternoon to all parents. I hope you can hear me. Okay, I'll take that question. All right, first thing first, let me just share that we have 15 CCA in AES, ranging from sports and game, uniform group, club society, as well as performing arts. Now, for students, let's say they would like to join a CCA not offered by the school, according to MOE CCA policies, we can allow the student to participate in a CCA outside school. Of course, they're subjected to principal approval. And of course, we want to ensure that they can fulfill the LEAPS 2.0 criteria, because at the end of the 4 years of CCA participation, we hope that they'll get a good CCA grade to allow them to move on to the next education level. At the same time, we also want to encourage our students to have a CCA offer in AES. Why? Because we want them to have the opportunity to work with their peers, with students from other streams, as well as students other races. So CCA is also a very authentic and important platform for students to integrate, okay, through the common interest as well as passion in the CCA. Yeah. So.
Okay, there's one more question, Mr. Ong. Is the dance CCA for girls only?
Okay, the dance, okay, in AES, when the Sec 1 comes in, we actually provide them, we have a CCA trial. So basically this CCA trial is basically to introduce the Sec 1 student to all the 14 CCA that are available in AS, so that they go through these 14 CCA, through audition, through trial, so that they have a taste of what is it like, if you join the CCA. At the same time, also for the teachers to identify and shortlist students with certain talent. So we also encourage them to participate or choose the CCA, so that to help them to make a more informed decision. So in short, it's both way. One is for the students to know, what is it like when they join the CCA, the nature of CCA, as at the same time, what the training that we're undergoing. And for our school point of view, will be for the teachers to identify students with certain talents that bring along with them to AS. So I hope I answer your question.
Okay, so we have some more questions coming in, but we'll address a few more questions first before we go back to Mr. Ong, because there are more questions on CCA. Okay, so Mr. Kwok, there's a question on, I read mixed reviews about the school due to its proximity to other establishments, but this parent is also very interested in the affiliation. So what are the pros and cons of this affiliation, and also our proximity to other establishment?
Okay, I'll take this question. Quite interesting question. I think the parent mentioned about proximity to other establishment, and also affiliation. Other establishments, I guess it would be close to other institution, very close in terms of physical proximity to the school. I'll be very candid and frank over here. I think the parent is asking about the Boys Town community. All right, and we are referring to Assumption Pathway School as well as Boys Town. So I think with regards to the mixed reviews, if we talk about Assumption Pathway School and us, Assumption English, yes, we share the same name, but at the same time, it is two separate different schools. All right, two different set of staff, different curriculum, different school building and facilities as well. So actually, we're talking about two separate schools. But mixed reviews, maybe because sometimes people get a bit confused because of the name Assumption, and also maybe because of the uniform as well. For the uniform, I think for Assumption Pathway School, the students, their uniforms are tucked out. For Assumption English, it is tucked in. School crest is the same. All right, and I mentioned before, it is the same even with the Montfort family as well as the St. Gabriel's family. So that's something that that is common to all schools. So, but I would say this, for Assumption Pathway, the curriculum is really a vocational curriculum. Personally, I feel proud to be part of the community where Assumption Pathway, Boys Town, we're all in the same compound. And for Assumption Pathway School, if you look at the student profile, basically, if you look at this current year, the PSLE cohort, I think less than 2% of students will not be going up to the secondary school curriculum. So in other words, less than 2% of these students will move on to schools like Assumption Pathway School. So they will learn a more hands-on curriculum. So in a sense, this is the pathway for these students. It is best suited to their talents, to their gifts. Some of these students do face challenges in their home background as well. And I do feel that the opportunity to get to know some of these students, I personally have got to know some of these students because there's this art restaurant which is within the same community. I've seen the students learning how to cook, how to serve, and I feel that these are wonderful students, beautiful students in their own way, trying their best to learn a skill so that they have a bright future ahead. So if you talk about my views, is there any pros and cons? I think definitely there are pros because society is diverse. society is diverse, and therefore we should appreciate each individual as they are, and work with them as they are as well. But at the same time, we are two separate, different institutions. All right, we look after our own students, and I believe for APS, Assumption Pathway, the school leaders, the staff over there will also look after their students as best as they can. Yeah, and then for Boys Town, I mentioned before, a lot of people, they are confused with Boys Home. In fact, in 2018, I don't think many of you will remember, but there was a riot in Boys Home, but that is in Jurong West. But many people were a bit confused, and they were worried that, Upper Bukit Timah, there's going to be a riot, but there isn't. And I feel that the Boys Town residents, the students, they are nice students, they're ordinary students, same. All right, the only thing is that they face challenges because of their home background. Some are orphans as well. All right, and therefore, if indeed these are the students, in fact, we should show care and concern for them also. So I think it adds to the diversity in terms of the school community. All right, we do not, we in the past, if you look at the school history, we received a lot more Boys Town residents in the past, but currently we receive only, in terms of the Boys Town residences in Assumption English School, is less than 10. In less than 10. All right, and there are students from Boys Town, they go to many other schools as well. All right, yeah. So I hope that explains.
Okay, thank you. Yes, thank you, Mr. Kwok. We have one question, last two questions. There's one question about the number of classes for secondary 1 next year. So as shared earlier on, there'll be 4 express classes, 2 normal academic and 1 normal technical class. It will be full SPP, so it will be mixed form classes. So one last question, I will direct the question to Mr. Ng. So this question is, will I be able to enter university if I'm in the normal technical stream? Mr. Ng?
Hello. All right. So the answer would be yes. All right. If you actually is in the NT stream, yes, you can enter university. Well, I mean, once you're in the secondary school, you will be taught, or you will be given the education pathway, and you see that it's actually limitless. You can really go to different education institution, right, based on the different education pathway. So I think in short, for NT, it will be through the ITE, and then to the Polytechnic, and then to the university. So that will be one of the ways to actually get into the university.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Ng. Okay, so we will conclude this live FAQ. Thank you for joining us today. We will appreciate if you can provide us some feedback based on today's session. Okay, so after this session, you can also make use of the same URL link to review today's video again. Okay, then before we actually move on, there will be 2 more videos that we're sharing with all of you. Yeah, give us a while. Huh? Okay, so thank you for the panelists. Okay, so thank you for joining us today, like what I mentioned earlier. So we appreciate a bit of feedback from all of you with regards to today's session. So please scan the QR code, okay, and actually give us a bit of feedback. The next session for the live session will be at 3 p.m. So if you are free, you can join us and ask more questions to the school personnel later. Okay. Moving on, we will be sharing 2 videos about the school. Thank you for joining us today. Thank you. Bye. It's over.
Yeah, it's up.
Hi, my name is Brandon. I graduated from Assumption English School in 2010. I'm a professional Muay Thai fighter fighting out of Eminent Air Gym. In 2009, when I was in secondary 3, I discovered Muay Thai. But people did not understand my passion for the sport, as it wasn't so mainstream back then, and it was often associated with violence. I did not give up and continued to pursue my passion by training hard in the gym. Also, there was a nurturing culture in AES, as there was a caring teacher called Mr. Kao, who even offered to pay for my training fee. This act alone motivated me to train hard and pursue the sport. That truly made a difference in my life.
He came in as one of the fastest students to finish the 2.4 at around 8 minutes. So, this caught my eye, and which I realized that he has a talent in sports and fitness. So his area of interest and moved towards Muay Thai, and I told him that just go for it, go and pursue his interests after he graduates, and that is where he is now. We in AES, we actually believe that all students will have different pathways to success.
I'm Kaylin and this is Atika.
Hi.
Is this your first time in our campus?
Yes, it is. It looks very big.
Come, we'll show you around. But before that, please take your temperature and do the safe scan. Welcome to our school library. Please write your name down and sanitize your hands.
Don't worry, I help you to write your name.
What we really love about our school library is the space. The tables, chairs, and air conditioning create the perfect environment for many of us to study in after school.
Totally. Sometimes we even have lessons and consultation with teachers here. Wow, that's nice. It's so spacious, and there are even couches here. I look forward to studying here with my friends after school.
Yup, there's a wide range of books of different genres in this library. Besides, we have newspapers and magazines. Welcome to the ASE cabin. ASE stands for After School Engagement. Here, students can come and take a break from studies, play games, and bond with each other. There are workshops conducted here from time to time for the students to learn new skills. Here's Jason. Let's go see why.
Welcome to our AES soccer field. Do you know the under-15 national football team actually trains on this very field each week?
Yes, because of our field, we have enjoyed many activities here as a school.
Do you remember last year? We had water soccer and the Assumptionites Challenge that ended off with a slide down the inflatable castle.
Yeah, I had so much fun with my classmates splashing around. Remember when our teachers joined us in the Assumptionite Challenge as well? Great bonding time with them too.
And of course, besides the school activities, our soccer and softball CCA sessions are also conducted here.
Also offers judo as a CCA. And we even have a special room called the dojo for the judokas to train in.
A very warm welcome to the dojo.
Our training may be tough, but that's what makes us judokas all the more stronger. I appreciate how we would cheer one another up when some parts of the training seem difficult. That often gives me the motivation to continue pushing on. So let's take a look at how we train.
Let's go, Chauncey!
Let me show you another relaxing spot around school. These are the counseling rooms. Hi, Mr. Chan.
Oh, hello there. What are you up to?
We're currently bringing our new friend around school.
Oh, hi. If you know someone who is going through a rough patch and need a listening ear, feel free to drop by my office.
Mr. Chen is our school counselor. In AES, we have 2 school counselors, an allied educator for learning and behavioral support, and a student welfare officer. All of them are very approachable. We are really fortunate to have Mr. Chen in our school.
Oh, you're welcome. And feel free to drop by if you want to.
Sure, we will. We'll catch up with you later.
Sure.
Bye-bye.
Bye.